Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well tonight.
Hello, everybody.
Hope you all are doing well. We are the Sawyers, and we're back for another heart to heart here on our life class for Tuesday. And glad you guys are here with us. And this is Cornerstone. For those of you who don't know, but I'm sure you guys do know. Let's see who's here. There's my sissy and brother-in-law. Enjoyed you guys on yesterday, on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It is Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it?
Jeanette,
Gosh, I can't remember if it's Tuesday or
Deborah Rondo. Friday.
It is Tuesday.
Phyllis Torrance.
There's
Hello,
Dee
Phyllis
Dee and
Edward.
George. Let us know how your sister is, George. Let us know how your sister's doing. I know you. And thank you for the money to go to lunch on Sunday. Thank you for that.
That was good.
Hello, Sunette. I've been missing you. I hope everything's okay. She said, beautiful in Denmark, stars in the night. All right, sweetie pie. Glad you're here with us. Been missing you. Whenever you're not here, we miss you so much. There's Deb. Hey, Deb.
Okay.
And there's Phyllis and Edward. Yeah, I don't know. I got my days all mixed up. It's like it feels like a Monday, and it feels like yesterday was Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels that way. It does. But I'm glad to be here with you guys. Glad to be here tonight. Well, let's see. You got anything good on your plate tonight?
Well, we're going to still talk about our oneness with the Father, and every one of us in this dimension, we are all 24/7 connected to the Father, and the condition of this environment brought about a fixation into God not being with us unless we have some sign, some feeling of a music or something, because it gives off the idea that if we don't have those signs, we feel bad, we think God is gone, we feel sick and we think he's gone.
Yeah.
And one of the most important things that I've had to capture this in the walk of the Spirit, you might say, is be ye transformed by the renewing of the word. But the word
renewal of your mind,
renewing the mind, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I discovered in this, you can read and study all the books and literature in the universe if you can get that many, and that still will not take the place of your indwelling beingness identity with God or with your eternal self. Reading and studying and praying will not take the place of that, because you don't go around every day saying, I'm a man, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, in order to secure yourself into an identity of being real in that particular area. You settled with it. You have, the dust is settled and you are completely satisfied. And you're that, unless the only ones that had problems with that were those who were confused about their identity.
Mm-hmm.
And to a great degree, all of us have been confused about it. But if I have you with me 24/7, I don't need a book or something to tell me that you are with me. I don't need to feel like, I don't have to go around through the house and feel like my wife is with me because she's upstairs and I'm downstairs. Now, if there's a special something that gives me indication that I go looking for, I'll go around the house and don't see her, that's when I look for her. We should be able to see God 24/7. I mean, without any hesitation. No, don't care how the mind think about her being or not being in the house. When I'm in the house with her, I do not have any questions about where she's located.
And it's not because you have a vision.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
but there's an internal thought that you hold of me. And An
It's
internal,
effortless.
an internal thought you hold of who you are, who you be.
Yeah.
And so it's not like seeing a vision. When you say
Yeah.
seeing God and everything, it's not a vision that you see so much as it is the internal thought you hold God's presence or God's
Let me hold
essence.
that can right there.
I got something
Yeah,
in
I
that
saw it. I'm
can.
hanging.
Something
And I'm
in
gonna
this
demonstrate
can.
something to him.
Okay.
This can, when I got wanted to use it, I pointed to it, and she said, "Well, I got something in it." Well, I'm not have no problem with something being in it, but I want to show you that this is here, and I don't have to ask her, "Is it in my hand?" She told me that it was something inside of it, so I took her word. It's something inside, and I can feel it. Now it's there. I don't have to keep going over this over and over again to let you or her know that it's. I got the can, and there's something in it. This is where we should, I wish we could. I wish we could have known that God was with us, one with us, and we don't have to say or pray, "Be with me today. I come to you the most most honest way I know how." God was with me because I had a blessing. God was with me because He gave me a sign. God was with me because I felt it in the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no. We want to grow. Uh, I don't like to use the word
But
grow.
that's okay to
Yeah,
say that word.
I
Yes.
want to come
You
to
want
this.
to mature past
This
that.
this we are one with is substantial, no wavering. Come rain, sleet, or snow. I told the Lord one time I get ready to take a shower. I said, Mr. Lord, I got to take a shower on this body right here. And I said, I don't know how you bathed when you were when we were together in that other body that we call Jesus. But I said, I'm gonna take a shower now. If you don't want to get wet, you can stay out here and wait till I get out, and then you can I'll dry off. Then you can work with me. But in the meantime, I went on in the shower, and I realized I said, well, he didn't check out. He's taking a shower with me. When I brush my teeth, is his teeth. And this is the practical side of oneness with God. And I think to say to all of you guys, that is the most amazing experience when the reality settles that God is all of us, spirit, soul, and body.
And yeah, and again, when we say the word God, and I want to do we're gonna do our prayer meditation right quick, if you don't mind. I didn't know you were gonna jump in that fast, but that's okay because you gave us some good words. And I want to say hello to those who came in late, Sister Chris and Linda Langdon and Jill and Sharon and Lakeisha and Brother Kessler. I wanted to acknowledge that you guys were here. I'm glad you tuned in to us. All right, let's do the prayer of the heart meditation, uh, affirmation, whatever you want to call it. Let's do this to kind of center ourselves. I don't know about your day. Your day may not have been like mine. Mine's been kind of busy and moving around a lot. So I got to bring my mind into my heart. My mind needs to drop into my heart because, we live in our heads and then we're stressed when we're living in our heads. So we want to drop down into your heart and let your heart speak, let your heart hear, let your heart intuit, let your heart soak up all of the things that have happened for the day, okay, and brush it off. And so if you'll do this with me and repeat after me. From the depth of my being cries a small voice, barely heard, and yet a whisper that cannot be missed.
Wow.
My heart strains to understand the unuttered message, only to realize that it is myself that is speaking. My own voice is heard in the deepest part of my soul. Deeper than deep, from a space with no boundaries. From a place that is so silent it sounds like it's shouting. Yet this message is still vague and unclear. My heart cries, speak to me. Speak to me, O Lord. Out of the cry of my heart arises the awareness that the cry itself is the message. It is the prayer. My heart is pleading. Take me. Consume me completely. Don't fill me, but swallow me till I am me no more. But there is only I am. And so it is. And so it is. So
Now,
in 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 my own experience, there I've noticed that there are two modes of seeking. One is seeking, there are those of us who seek with the mind. We want answers. We want to know. We fill ourselves with information in hopes that that information will somehow liberate us. And then there are those who are seekers of the heart. And that doesn't mean that they're better, or neither is better or lesser than, they're just different. Seeking with the heart is one who feels after God, feels after the things of spirit. Not so much with the head, not so much with wanting to knowledge, but wanting an actual experience. And in that pursuit of an experience, the ones who seek, are seekers of the heart, tend to look for evidence in their feelings when they're free from what they feel, or when their feelings are exuberant, or when they feel peaceful. Whereas those who are seekers of the mind, when they gain knowledge that makes them go, that's their pursuit. So we have these two modes, and sometimes I'm both. But when the heart is online, there doesn't have to be a lot of knowledge. And when I say knowledge, I mean learned knowledge, accumulated information.
mm-hmm.
Accumulated information can actually block the experience.
Yeah,
Can it?
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So it's about finding your own mode and knowing your mode. Those of us who are more left-brained, logical minded, should lean toward more prayerful, meditative practices. And those of us who are feelers and seekers of the heart should lean more toward possibly getting more information, reading the types of information that they need. And it's just a balance of being yourself right now, just being yourself right now, not trying to become anything, not trying to change anything about yourself, but finding yourself and finding out what pulls your strings, what actually activates you, what motivates, what activates you, and then staying in that lane.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to bring that out because I know that a lot of us are trying, especially nowadays, we're looking at other people and we try so hard to imitate those people.
I heard it said just then inside, you're looking for God must be born again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're looking for where God
Yes,
is, must be
yes,
born
yes.
again.
I understand that.
Hmm.
Yes,
You're
yes.
seeking God, must
There,
be born
there's a
again.
need for a revision
Yeah,
of
yeah.
how we seek.
Wow. I
Yes,
heard it
yes,
inside. I heard it. Your way of seeing where God and where God is located must be reborn.
yes. It must be settled. It must be reborn,
Settled. That's right. That's a good word. That's
revised,
right.
reborn, and settled.
Hmm.
And I remember in Acts 17:28 it says, "In him we live, move, and have our being." So there's absolutely no distance between
We
us
are the
and God.
day and night of God.
Yes,
We are the week, the Mondays, the Tuesdays, the illusion, dreams. We are all God is wherever He is. God is some of these things that we don't know He is, and discovering what He is in as all is the experience of coming to a place of settlement that you'll never have to look for Him in one particular area at all.
and we speak of it as a him, but
Yeah,
it is also
could
an
be a
it
her.
is an it is a
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
And if you go back, if you take yourself all the way back, allow your mind to contemplate that in the very beginning, if there was such a thing as a beginning, there was nothing else to make anything out of, to
Mhm.
create anything out of, except the actual essence of God.
That's right.
So there, everything that has been created and will be created is God, the God that is all that is. And so there is no way that God can ever separate itself from its creation. So there's no possible way that we could be separated from him.
The only thing with I can see that what we're talking about now is that there is a part of awareness of me that has come to almost limp to the point where I don't have to mash a buzzer or do something to check to see if God is hearing my
You're
prayers.
not constantly checking,
Yeah,
first of
and then
all.
I come to find out we used to call it. Rosalind Ranker had a book out called Conversational Prayer,
Mm-hmm,
and we're having conversational praying right now.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I thought that if God talked to me, it had to be, or talked through me, it had to be a notable feeling, or yay and dust and all that. Uh, I'm telling you, this what we're talking about now is
It's
so,
very good.
it's
Very
so,
good.
it's so, it's so what you might, it's tied down on every side of the road. I always say.
Yes. So when we do settle and have that rebirth
Hmm.
of seeking, and at some point seeking stops,
Hmm.
seeking God as an other ceases. However, the desire for more expanded awareness never stops.
We've been looking at
It never
television for
stops.
years, and we often say when we change the station, can't find anything on here. Ain't
Right.
nothing on
You
the television
lose your
tonight.
taste for a lot of
That's the way it
things.
works.
Yes.
And there is an expression of seeing God in people in the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in the grocery store, and you look at them, but you look through them.
You know, you talk about the grocery store a lot, so you must stay in the grocery store quite a bit.
Well, I take you.
Yeah, and you have a lot of your interactions with people
I
in the
do.
grocery
I
store.
do. And crowd and people and stores. And I don't know when I've been to a mall. It's been years
Well,
since we've been
nowadays
to a
the
mall.
malls are not that safe because
No.
they have too many shootings and people are a little afraid of going there. Anyway, let me see what Sinette says. She's given us a great
I
comment
like that
here.
what she
And
said.
she says, we are always connected. So the fear behind the idea of separation, fueling guilty thoughts, means guilty thoughts is an illusion. So I can release everyone by forgiving myself and give it to the I am. Forgiveness stand granted. For forward give to your, and I'm not sure what the nestness is, but I'm sure she'll tell me what that means. Forward give to your nestness.
We are the forgiveness of God manifested in flesh,
Mm-hmm.
whether
Mm-hmm.
we ask forgiveness, give forgiveness, or release forgiveness. What is so wonderful about this fully loaded deal is that we done found out that we're fully loaded.
True.
And it's not an ideal. I mean, let's say it like this. We had to disguise ourselves as Clark Kent, even though we know we're Superman. We don't go. You don't go around preaching to everybody. I'm Jesus. I'm God.
Oh, Lord, no, I
No,
hope
no.
not.
We can't. And
I
that's
hope
if
not.
you do that, you're gonna we
Get yourself
gotta we
crucified.
put yourself. You might well, as you do that, you might well get you a rubber room and and
Get your white straight jacket.
yeah, and tie yourself up. But it is such a wonderful knowing to know that it is finally settled. So, out of all the books that I have and collected for years, I noticed that everyone that I picked up, they all say basically the same thing, but they never, not any of them could show me who, what, and where God really was.
Mhm.
As I wrote in my notes here,
Yeah, and
we
you
are our physical body is the physical expression
yeah,
of
yeah,
spirit.
yeah. And see, I had a I had a misconception of what it would be like when I found God.
Yeah.
When I truly found God. Not so much found God outside myself, but here in my own soul.
Hmm.
I had a misconception of what it would be like when I was fully awakened, of what it meant, what life would be like when I was enlightened. But it doesn't it isn't anything like I expected,
Hmm.
because a lot of us expect that it's going to turn your whole life around, and everything all of a sudden is going to be peaches cream. You're going to be able to speak things into existence and not ever have a problem you have to go through. You're never going to have a problem with your mind. You're going to always be up and joyful. The misconception of that type of lifestyle,
Hmm.
it did not happen that way. But yet, there is a part here that is okay.
Yeah.
And it's not okay because everything else around it is okay, but it's just okay.
Hmm.
And so an enlightenment has become a lightening of the burden.
Hmm.
But there are burdens that I remain attached to because it helps me to relate to other people. Those burdens, when I see people in suffering, I don't want that to leave me, because then I have no compassion for them. And so I'm learning to just accept this human experience. This human experience is not all that pleasant, but sometimes it's real good.
I saw in an experience being inside of a small 2 or 3 room house, like the chamois or
Shanties, the little
shanty, like on
shanties,
the side
they
of a
call them shotgun
yeah.
houses. Yeah.
Hmm. I was inside this house, and it was thousands of light beings in the house, and I had the experience of wondering how in the world do so many people get in one place and still be recognized among themselves. There was no difference, no stag, no disagreement. And then I went out on the porch. I saw this. I
Mm,
saw
mm,
myself come out
mm,
on the porch.
mm.
And when I was out on the porch, there was one light being that was standing right beside me on my left side. And I was asking and communicate with him about all the vehicles that was driving up, lining up in the street in front of this house.
Now, this was one of your mystical flights,
Yeah, my
wasn't it?
experiences. Yeah,
Yes.
and I looked, and there was thousands of buses driving up, and these buses was coming in from some of they were not the welfare, but the uh,
Goodwill. That's what
Goodwill
you told me.
stores
You told me
and
it was
yeah, Goodwill
Goodwill.
stores and places like that. And they were
Mhm.
employees and people from everywhere. And they was all packed on it. It was thousands of buses. And one driver that was driving the bus was a friend of mine that I knew when I was a little boy that drove Safe Bus in Winston-Salem. And he was one of the drivers. And I saw all of these light men get off of the buses and come up the step, past me and this light being like an angel. And all of them went inside this house, and there was no place in the house where there was not enough room for everybody. Each one of the light beings was room for everybody. They were the occupancy of the space, and there was no crowd. I looked at this and I woke up. I said, "This is absolutely amazing." When I look on television and I see in the auditoriums or like in sports, where thousands of people are in one building, I said, in the mind, this cannot happen, but in spirit, when you look at it, there's such an awesome respect, and I can feel I could feel my spirit in the near just drop and begin to say how awesome God is. Now, we were inside of the Jesus body. Let's expand this. Everybody that was in the courts, Harold and Pilate, Judas, the 12 apostles, 12 disciples, we were a spirit inside of every last one of them. Yeah. Even though at this point we have or have not accepted Jesus as real, we were inside. And as we sit here tonight, everybody that's listening to us, we are inside of each other as eternal spirit. Yes, that to me is one of the most amazing deals.
So every Tuesday and every Sunday that you guys come and frequent these live streams, you actually come to yourselves. You're coming to yourselves to say, and you're called these sayings to yourself every Tuesday and every Sunday. It's not anything happening outside of you as conscious awareness. You are actually, everything is happening inside of you. You are calling everything to you and sending everything that you don't want away.
That the old song that comes to me called, and some of the words in, sit down and rest a little while.
Yeah. I like what Sinette said here in response to what I had said. She said, it's like let yourself float in water.
Yeah.
Just relaxing and let yourself move with the water.
Yes.
When you fight the water, you struggle. And you know what, Sinette, I'm going to tell you. My sister and I and my niece, we took a girls' trip. It's been many, many years back when my niece was, she was a teenager. So we wanted to spend some time with her and just have a girls' trip. So we took off to we won a trip to Florida and a cruise to the Bahamas. And so we took that trip. And while I was there, now I've always loved playing in water and I float a little bit and all of this, but I've never really learned to swim. Now I think I could probably splash enough water out of the pool that I keep from drowning, but I'm afraid. I was always afraid of deep water. I had to always feel my toes on the bottom of the pool. So when we were in the Bahamas, my sister, I'm sure she remembers this, Shelly, my niece, taught me how to swim. And what she taught me was how to relax in the water and trust the water to hold me. And I ended up swimming like a fish. I mean, just swimming like, I loved it. It was wonderful. I got back to the States and away from my niece, Shelly, and I lost all of that and could not recapture how to trust the water again. And I know it's possible, but and it's the same way with spirit or God or infinite intelligence or divine intelligence or the universe. It's the same way. You must learn to relax, fall back, and trust that it can carry you. And what brought you to this understanding is going to take you the full distance. It's not going to drop you. You're going to have the desire to continue until your capacity to see is completed. And if the universe is expanding, every day, faster than they can even keep up with, then there is no way that our conscious awareness would remain static. It is also expanding, and it will continue to expand until we leave this body and even after. So there is no end to the things that you will discover. There is no end to the ahas you will have. There is no end to the experiences that you will have. There is no end to how much you will understand about yourself and about God. So there's no need to rush.
That's right.
There's no need to rush it. There's no need to hurry up and try to do this and try to be that, and because it is happening as we speak.
The body, the physical body, is the here and now spirit made flesh.
That's right.
This body,
yes,
this right now,
yes,
is the here and now spirit of God made flesh.
And before
I like that.
Yeah, and before we went live, you made me think about it. Before we went live tonight, I was looking for a book by Ram Dass. You remember him?
Yeah.
He wrote this book called Be Here Now.
Yes.
And it's here in the house somewhere.
Yes.
I gotta find it. But
I like that.
Yes, it's called Be Here Now.
You know, we both of us was in the physical world, was brought up with family, and we have these occasions where everybody from out of town come, and when the people come from out of town to see us, and we've never been to Pittsburgh or Philadelphia or New Jersey, we class them as big shots.
Yeah, that's where we looked at
them.
Exactly.
Because
they had an accent that was not a southern drawl.
I remember one of our school buddies lived in the neighborhood, and she taught like the street we lived on, and she would go up to DC and Jersey and all that and come back, and she have all that blah 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 blah.
Well, my uncle married a woman who was from deep south, down very deep South Carolina, and she had this southern accent all mixed up with the northern accent. It was a weird accent, really, really weird.
The mind feel bad, but we don't.
Right.
But the we that don't is still one with God. I like that, boy. This stuff is so juicy.
But
I like it.
But the one that feels bad is one with God, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So when I feel bad,
God ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
When the body, whatever it is that says it feel bad.
So what I have to acknowledge when I feel bad is that there is something running as an undercurrent in me. I'm not aware of it. I don't know what it is, but it is running as an undercurrent, and it's in my body, and my solar plexus is experiencing it, and it's presenting it to me. And I can just be with it, or I can try to seek it out and figure out what is happening and what it is that's running in me that I'm not aware of. But I've learned not to be too introspective, because it's like going up into the attic with a flashlight. Now, it's one thing when you go up into the attic and somebody turns the light on and they say, "Okay, you see that over there?" "Yeah, I see that." Then that's enough. Let's go downstairs. When you get the flashlight and start going up in that attic and start looking, you're going to see things about yourself you don't want to see. So I try not to be too introspective.
That's right. That's right. You are the sons and daughters of God that have finally come to the end of a struggle of trying to find your Lord.
Yes.
And your connection with Spirit.
Yes.
There's a whole lot more to go to this thing than what we have been hearing. I told the therapist, and I got to call him and make an appointment.
Yeah, you need Friday. To, because you may not get in.
Yeah. I told him, I said, he asked me about this place that we in, and I said, I was introduced to Jesus or to the Christ in a very unusual way, and it didn't make me feel I was better than anybody else, but it made me see others different.
Now, when we first were introduced, we did think of ourselves not so much as better than everyone else, but
I had something.
different from
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
because we now have this special relationship with
Mhm.
God that they may not already
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Well, that
So
was part of
we
it.
saw
Mhm.
ourselves as an elite. And there are a lot of people who right now still feel that way, but that even is an illusion
Right. That's
because
right.
there are no special people because we're all special
That's
in the
right.
eyes of God. And there's a scripture that says God is no respecter of persons. So one person to God means no more than the other. So that seeing ourselves as different has
Mhm.
gone. It's
Mhm.
gone
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gone completely. Because we know that the struggles that we've had, or we
Mhm.
will have, or have had in another lifetime. So it doesn't matter. We're all the same. We are the same. And I remember Dad Harris when he
Yeah.
come to be with
Yeah.
us
Remember him.
before he passed. He said, "Love is sameness."
Mm.
I'll never forget that. He said, "Love is sameness."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "We're the same."
Mm-hmm.
So I can be forgiving of you. I can give you more grace. I might not do it immediately because my emotions might get ticked off.
Mm-hmm.
But when my emotions calm down, I can forgive you because I know that same thing is here in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say that I'm any better than you.
I'm looking at something, and here's a word. We are beyond existence.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
We are beyond
What does that mean
existence.
to you if we're beyond existence?
It's not a word to describe our beyondness. It's not. It's really not a word to describe. We are beyond. We are beyond existence.
You know, we lefties, we got to have an understanding of what that
Oh,
means.
well. See, I'm having trouble with that kind of
I
talk.
know
That's
you don't.
crazy.
You're on your mystical flight, so you know. But
We
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 lefties have
are
to have some
we
kind of
are the
understanding.
mystical side of God that can and cannot be found at the
Okay,
same time.
okay.
We operate in the can found and the cannot be found and still
We're
be beyond
hidden by
existence.
our own appearing.
Woo, what
Yeah,
you talking
hidden
about?
by our own
Oh, I
appearing.
forgot this right here. I knew it was something. Oh, hold on now, hold on now. Watch this. Here you go. I had to ring the bell. It's dinner time. Come on.
Just not too hard.
It kind of rung my ear that time.
Uh-huh.
Let's do it real easy. Here we go.
Yeah. You got a heavy hand you don't realize you have. That comes from lifting all those weights.
Well, have mercy on my soul,
Let me
baby
see what
Jesus.
Sinette is saying here
Okay, go
before
ahead.
you get cranked up again. She says, inside and connected with each other. That means we just need to change our perception of the world. Let Jesus in us show the way. So when I ask Jesus to see the other, I get love feeling bursting in my heart and knowing the other as healed and perfect as we give, we receive. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm unable to change my perception. When I look at another person, I look at them and I see the memory of what I have known about them before. And then that dictates to me how I relate to them. But most times I'm learning to drop that memory of them, suspend that so that I can meet them afresh and really meet them.
I'm glad you said that. Here's what in part of my notes I said this: become aware of the different ways of seeing God
Hmm.
in everybody we meet.
And what are those?
And those ways are the people that we meet. They represent the different ways and the different forms that God is appearing to
Mhm.
each other in.
Because yeah, and now I'm beginning to see that even the unlovable and
Mm-hmm.
those that are not what we would consider uh, favorable,
Mm-hmm.
they're necessary because
Mm-hmm.
if they were not there, we would not see the opposite of that is what which is what
Mm-hmm.
love is. We wouldn't see it. It would not be any way for us to know it.
Our buddy just tuned in to us when we don't give her
Yeah,
enough
baby
attention. She'll
girl, of
come up
course.
and get
But
in.
you notice she goes to you because she
Yeah.
knows I'm not going to pay her attention right
Yes,
now.
that's my girl.
Yeah,
She's
she's got you
girl.
wrapped around
Yeah, the girl.
her little paw.
Yeah, that's the little girl.
Hmm. Hey, Linda, she says, I dreamed the other night that I am in the inside of the inside.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay.
pretty good, girl. You're
The
all right.
inside of the
I'm gonna tell the
inside.
boss man to give you a raise. That's pretty
The
good.
inside of the inside. And I'm thinking about, when you
Mm.
said that, I'm thinking about the book of Thomas, where it says the inside is as the outside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there is no inside outside except in time and space. I'm not sure, Linda. That's a good thing. You dreamed you were the inside of the inside. Hmm. Hmm. That's worth
Mm.
contemplating, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna contemplate that with you. You come back and tell me what you get. I'll tell you what I got.
The eternal self is God as us
Is us.
and is us
Yes.
in the eternal
Yes.
essence.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
please stay
Yes.
in the
And
word
this
essence.
is the thing. God is us when we are being absolutely authentic to our true nature. When and even when we're not being authentic to our true nature, it is still existentially true,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not experientially true. I'm not experiencing it when I'm not being authentically myself.
Here's a good one. Don't be afraid to say that what we are talking about to you is true.
Yes. Yes.
You are the truth of God, even in disbelief. You are the truth of God in unbelief. You are the truth of God, unchanging truth that weighs and use the balances of no truth, untruth, as a stepping stone or a speed bump to find and fix more into the fact that you are the truth of God, stepping over these speed bumps.
Yeah. Yeah. My mind went back to what Linda said about the inside of the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that when you think about, say, this room, for instance, this is an inside of this room, and then there's the outside of this room. But the only reason there's an inside is because there are walls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If there were no walls, there would not be an inside or an outside.
That's right. Now, what we're talking about.
So we're removing walls.
What we're talking about is this. We've been sitting in a jail cell waiting for somebody to let us out. And the key to the door that we can get up and by choose to get out is right there sitting beside us.
Now, Sinette just explained what you said.
She did.
She did.
Well,
she said it. She said,
I didn't see it.
Beyond existing. You
Okay.
said that, right?
Yeah, we're beyond existence.
She says, existing means come into being. That's
Okay.
what it means from
Okay.
Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond being is just I am.
You know, I like to come to your classes and sit down, Jeanette. I like to come to your classes and sit down and hear you talk this crazy talk that we love to hear said. It's just what the doctor ordered.
I thought about the other day. I was watching YouTube, and we like to watch babies on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this baby that was listening to its mother or grandmother, one of them, singing. And it was trying to sing with her. Could not sing, but it was trying to. And it ended up cooing, like you always said.
Cooing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
but then I had this feeling, if I was a quadriplegic and I could only move my legs and my limbs just a little bit, and I could not get up, I could not stand, I could not speak, I would be just like that baby. I would cry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw that.
I would cry.
Now, the mom was singing to the baby.
Yeah, I would cry to get what I needed.
And the baby was cooing.
Yeah. But I'm talking about something else now.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I could not move, as little babies are, they have not acclimated to their bodies, so they cry. And I understand now why babies cry. Because they're not acclimated to their bodies, and they want to be able to move. They want to be able to speak. They want to be able to do all those things.
Here's the mystery unraveled. When God looks at us, he sees himself their only begotten Son
Yes, yes,
and daughter.
yes, yes.
Hot dog.
Sinette says you fuel her.
Huh?
You fuel her. She said, you fuel
Oh,
me.
shucks, girl, I'm going to tell you, baby Jesus is on the ball today. I feel the big key.
Now read your note again. Read your note
Okay.
again.
When God looks at us, he sees himself
Mhm.
as the only begotten sons and
Mhm.
daughters. The big key is don't be afraid to say this to your true
Remember
self.
that song, When He Sees Me? I'll never forget.
Oh yeah.
Years ago, the first time I heard that song was when we were in Milwaukee with Beryl
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
And he sang that song.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. When he sees me, he sees his righteousness. He sees the holiness
Mm.
filling up this
I remember Brother
emptiness.
Darrell singing that.
And I'm glad he sees himself each time he looks at me.
Mm.
Oh, I heard that song and I was like, wow, that was so beautiful.
I have seen and met 54 years of us being in this. And then I add the rest of it to it of the years that I thought that I had not been with God or God with me. I can look right over the whole span of both of our lives and see the life of God. How awesome it is. How awesome it is. I'm going to keep saying it until I feel the release. How awesome it is that God was and is always and have been.
Yes, yes.
And I don't have any choice right now, but I want to see him. I want to see him more and more and more, and I do.
And we do.
Oh, I want to see
but
him
there's a
look
part
upon
of
his face.
There's a desire of the mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not a wrong thing.
Yeah.
But the mind desires to see God as itself.
Yes.
As it sees itself. And have an image that it can put on the face of God. And there it is complicated to put an image on the face of God. So that's one of the reasons why people elevate Jesus so much as the one to worship, because it puts a face on God. And he has become our guru, our master, our savior in that sense. So that for us as a Christian is a face of God.
When you could name any religious person or sage or teacher, preacher, whatever you want to call them, discoverer. I saw God have a conference with all of them before they all come to earth.
That was another mystical flight, wasn't it?
Yeah. I saw him meet with those who we say that preach false doctrines and false words. Those that have misdirected many with the wrong thing we say. I saw Jesus get together with him and say, come on in my house.
There's no
come
schism.
on in. Let's sit down and I want you to come just with the beliefs that you've been teaching everybody on earth.
There's no schism. Because
come
if
on,
you go,
I can sit with you.
If
we
you
can
go
talk.
to the very essence of each one, it is the common thread is love. And the common thread is love.
And what's so amazing, I hear him say, you can talk your false stuff to me anyway, anytime you want to, and I still will invite you to come in. And I still want you to sit with me.
Because there should not be a severing of a relationship simply because there's a disagreement. But now this is what we've experienced.
Yeah.
Many who disagree with us sever the relationship.
God.
But that is not how love lives. What love looks like is I'm going to hang in there with you even when you disagree, even when I don't think what you're saying or doing is right. I hang in there with you because I'm the same as you and I love you. Love wants to be with, not apart. And so there has been, and especially in the Christian church, that we have had in our arena, there has been a lot of love relationships severed simply because there was no agreement. And the agreements mean absolutely nothing. I mean, the beliefs that cause the different disagreements, I mean, absolutely nothing when you get down to the bottom line, and we're all gonna. It's the common thread is love, and so it's really disappointing sometimes to me. I've watched people who've been in our ministry that we formed really strong bonds with, felt like family, even stronger than our physical families. And they, at some point, they would have this desire to walk away or to leave and to do something else, which was fine. I mean, it's, you're entitled, you're allowed to have those feelings to want to do that. However, they felt they had to sever the relationships that they had with us in order to do it. And that's not necessary. That's not necessary. But for whatever reason, people have to have excuses to separate from people and lose their love relationships.
Yeah. It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful way to be.
It is.
And I like it.
It is.
Miss Pearl Lucas says, absolutely.
Larry Reed would say, absolutely.
Yeah. You guys have really blessed us with coming online with us every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday.
And I hope you got something out of what we were talking about tonight. In fact, I think you have. I think you have.
Thank you all for sending the $100 a piece to us, and for sending your love with it. Sometimes people will send cards and letters to us, and you know what I do with each one of them? I take them into my closet, and I put them and stack them with the rest of it, and I look at them every day. Every time I go in the closet, I look at every last one of them. I feel your infirmity, that feeling of not being able to move in a certain areas because of something that's been imposed upon you as a limitation, because of not understanding the full inheritance of your freedom in spirit, soul, and body. Oh, I feel that. And I'm noticing some of the things that come through you and through us. It's so real that I want to. I could sit down, like putting headphones on, and listen to all of you say the most gracious things that you are in and with each other. I want to say with gratitude, thank you for the love gifts that are pouring into us. Thank you for the thousands of dollars that you've sent in the mail and on Cash App. I want to thank you. But the biggest deposit you could ever make beyond the value of money is your heart.
Yeah. Now, Linda says, yes, she says, I want to make a T-shirt that says, flowing in the knowing I am. And Pearl is the one, Linda. She gave me that I am shirt. Look, I ain't had done it. I can't get my round belly in that shirt hardly. So I'm trying to lose a little weight so I can wear that shirt more. But Pearl is the one who will make it happen. She'll make it happen. That might be a good thing. Look, I got to get you and Pearl together so y'all can collaborate.
Yeah.
I give Pearl your email or something. You guys can collaborate. That'll be wonderful.
Thank you for the rejoicing with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for the walk of God. Thank you for the seeing of God that's in the sight of our eyes. Thank you for allowing us to see God in you, with you, as you, 24/7. When we go off the air, I don't lose you. I gain you because I use the conversation that we are in now to remind me that Jesus is on the main line. And I just had a talk with him through talking to you online.
And I want to say also, I know that there are those of you who are listening and not necessarily commenting. And I want to thank you for listening and coming in and joining us as well. And every now and then, it would be good for us to be encouraged to know that you're there listening to us. And if you, by any chance, you have not already subscribed to our channel, then you need to do that on YouTube and press the like button so that whatever that algorithm thing is, can push us up the ladder so they will find us whenever they search for spiritual content, and that'll help us to get out there a little more. So if you feel like what we have to say is beneficial, then make sure you hit the like button and
Thank you.
subscribe.
Thank you for the support. That's what we got on the screen.
Mhm.
Thank you for the support of the broadcast, and thank you for the financial support to keep us going in our house and everything. You're a wonderful, wonderful blessing. And even if you can't give, you gave us your heart, and that's worth more. Is waiting gold. More waiting gold.
It is.
I tell you, it's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back again on Thursday. I mean, Pastor Norman wasn't on here tonight, so I'm hoping that he'll be with us on Thursday. But if not, Pastor and I will be here at 12:30.
Live and in color.
Impromptu. And I know a lot of you aren't able to get on then, but if you can, it'd be great. We'd love to see you there. Otherwise, we'll see you Sunday at 10. You stay sweet and stay safe and be blessed.
Okay. See you later.